Hey guys, how you doing? I hope you're well. I'm scared to death right now. My heart's racing and I feel like throwing up because I'm nervous about making this video. But the time has come because I want to take a look inside the DX-60a and the HR-10b. In the future, we'll do the same with the HW16. But baby boy is all set up. Aren't you, Blitzy? You gonna help me make a movie? And got the bench pretty much cleaned off. A couple things I want to show you before I put you on a tripod and grab the radios. A couple things I have when I'm going to begin a restoration. Number one, my little tablet of paper. And I never throw these notes and scribblage away. I'll list the caps that I need, and that's pretty much done visually for the most part. And then I'll check all the resistors. The way I do it, I'll start on one side of the radio and sweep to the right. Oh, come on, really? Come on, phone. It didn't like my hand. And so that's what I'll do. And then I like to keep vintage parts, but I also like to see the unit run for, a few years before it dies again. So depending on the radio I'm working on, that kind of dictates what I do with replacement of parts. But anything that's even close to being out of tolerance is gone. So thought I'd show you. Probably my favorite probes are these nice long grabber probes. You can get into a very busy chassis with those where my sausage-like fingers can't reach. And they're just plugged in. These leads have a banana plug at each end. And yeah, those are nice to have. Having said that, a very close second are these. Just a pair. They used to have little mini grabbers on the end, but they quickly broke, And yeah, man, just an alligator clip on each test lead. A good substitute is just your normal meter leads with an alligator test lead on each clip lead on each end. That works too. Works just great. But these work even better. Meters, I like to leave them locked on so that they don't keep timing out. The Fluke uses AA cells. I'm sorry, the Fluke uses a 9-volt battery, which these days is a 5-volt battery. My Chino meter is my $20 meter. It's called a Proster VC97. I've seen him called Vici 97. Thing's spectacular, man. It's all you'll ever need. Once you eliminate the snobbery in electronics, that's all you'll ever need. That'll do 99.9% of what you need as an electronic technician at home. So I'm going to straighten things up, put you on a tripod, plug you in, and grab the radios. Hang on. Okay, I decided to start with a transmitter, the DX-60a. Let's take a walk around it, and I'll show you the condition of it, okay? First, let's take a look at the top. The lighting in here is suboptimal, but you can kind of get an idea of what I'm working with. Very nice condition, little blemish there, and I've talked before about rubbing your fingernail across the blemish, and it'll tell you whether it's a blemish that's indented into the paint or it's something sitting on top of the paint. In that case, it's a discoloration. I gotta quit babbling about minutia. Let's just take a look at the condition. I've talked about these before, I think. And one of the things that struck my eye about this transmitter when it came in the mail, oh, I smiled hugely because of the condition of the labeling. No fingernail scratches, no, missing. The switch, the meter function switch, works okay. However, a lot of these Heathkit switches, when they start to wear out, if you put your finger on the tip of it, it's hard to slide. And if you put your fingernail down at the base of it, it's easy to slide because the switch is cocking a little bit, Be kind to your switches. Put your finger down low, but don't let your fingernail scratch the panels. I got lucky on this one. It has a beautiful, clear meter face and lens. It's not yellowed. This thing looks almost as good as the day it was built, literally, except for a few little blemishes, worn paint. So that's what and the exterior condition, not to make a big deal of it, but it is a big deal. To me, that's the biggest. Well, that and to have a chassis that's not completely rusted out, You can still work with it if it is, but I'd rather not. Let's pop the top. Hang on. Oh, before I pop the top on it, I wanted to show you what I saw from the back side when I first looked behind it. And again, when I did, I smiled. And here's why. Here's what my eye caught. Let's get this power cord out of the way. For one thing, somebody had tucked the power cord inside. But here's what caught my eye in the order that they caught them. Number one, the transformer's not rusted, Number two, the tube shields are present, as are the tubes. I smiled when I saw that it came with a crystal plugged into one of the sockets for 7061. So, no rust. It's got some, it looks like what you'd expect the aluminum to look like. It's got the original filter caps in it, so nobody's done a butchery restoration job on it. What else did I notice? I noticed that this crystal socket, you probably can't see it, but pause you and zoom in. Hang on. That crystal socket is cracked. You can see the end of it here is cracked off. Come on, focus phone. Don't make me mad. And that's okay. Would I replace it? Yeah, I would. If I had one. Would I buy one just for that reason? Might. Might. So that's what I see from the back side of this thing. Yeah, okay. Let me pause you again and pop the top. Be right back. Okay, here we go, guys. Keep in mind, I've never looked inside this thing other than peeking through the back. What strikes my eye? The first thing I look at is the chassis. Now, I don't know what you can see in the phone's camera, but what I see is it's dusty, but not terribly dusty. There's not a mat of dust. Is there a film? Let me wipe. Yup, there's a nice film of dust, and that's a good thing. And sometimes there's almost like a not grime, but almost like an oily finish, and that's an even better thing because it keeps the aluminum from oxidizing. I'm not cop a seat. What else do I see? The tubes are all present, and the screws in the output PA cage are all present. And if you look at those screws, notice they're all straight slotted screws, as are all the screws on the chassis, which is nice to see. They're all original screws. Heathkit did not use Phillips screws back in that era. I'm going to pause you and take the top off the output PA cage. One moment. Okay. You know, these are pretty simple devices, these transmitters. It's not the most interesting first look in the world, and that's why I started with this one. I'm going to switch hands. Hang on. So everything in the output PA cage looks as it should. The 6146 is present, at least. The caps are clean. They turn very nice. And that's something I forgot to mention about the controls on this transmitter. They all turn gloriously, so none of the none of the wafer switches will have to be worked on, just cleaned a little bit. So I'm going to flip it over and take the bottom off, and we'll take a look-see underneath. Hang on. Hang on. Oh shit. Somebody's had their filthy, grimy little hands in here. Hang on. And hey guys, I was going to post this last night, but I sampled a wobbly pop. I had a delicious Pabst Blue Ribbon, and then a second one. And then I was no longer in any shape to talk. Let's drop her skirt together. You want to take a peek? Oh my. Oh my. Is that not beautiful? Hang on. Isn't she beautiful? I'm going to pause you and take a look around. Yeah, I don't know if I will pause you. Hang on, man. Let's take a look down by the transformer, see what we see. Anything? Just going to poke around. How stiff is this wire? And I don't mean the cotton. The copper, I mean the cotton. It's bendable. This one, oftentimes the thicker the leads, the ones that run the filaments, are harder. They're bigger. In the past, when restoring a radio, I've had to take the transformer out. This wire here is pretty stiff. My philosophy, in the past I've taken the transformer off, completely unwired, the connections, and installed new leads up to the transformer itself, secured them well, insulated them well, and then brought the new leads out of the clamshell case. In other restorations, and I'm talking about tabletop AM radios, in other cases I have just taken a bit of clear enamel and just clear fingernail polish and paint them. And that'll make them even harder, basically locks them in place, and as long as no wires are touching, that's fine. It's better that than destroy a vintage transformer that can't be replaced. What else do I see? Not a lot. Not too much. Nothing out of the ordinary except for one thing. He's not stock. He's new. Somebody has scratched an X into that electrolytic cap. So this has been worked on. It may work. It may work fine. Slide you off to the right. Take a look at that section. Do I see anything? I'm looking for things out of things that are improper or unusual or non-Heathkit, and I really see nothing. It looks like it's in a very good shape, The chassis is in nice shape. It's relatively clean. It's very clean, actually. But they usually are on the bottom side, right? Here's the band switch, and it works fine. Nice crisp detents. It turns with ease. So I have a feeling that that was restored, because not too many Heathkit band switches feel like that. Not too many Heathkit band switches ever felt like that, even when they were new. I'm going to show you on the receiver how I restore and how I adjust a band switch, a complicated wafer band switch, because that thing is seized. And I almost never feel a band switch that turns to my liking, like this one. Somebody did a wonderful job on that. But I'm going to show you how I do that. What else do I see? Not too much. Nothing out of the ordinary. You know, I can't see the front panel. I don't know what this wafer switch is, but again, it turns very nice. And when I do the restoration on this, there's not much to be done. Checking component values, cleaning those wafer switches, and lubricating the shafts. But I don't even need to do that. I'm just going to clean those contacts and call it a day. Sorry about that jerk. Again, here's the bridge rectifier, silicone diodes. At least this radio is new enough that it doesn't use vacuum tube rectifiers. So somebody's been in here. These are rated at 450 volts, 22 microfarad, and what brand? Sanwaha. Yeah, I know. It'll get name brand electrolytics. I will replace them all. They're probably fine. I have the test equipment to test them, but why bother? They're getting replaced. Oh, I'll test them, but just for shits and giggles. So I debated, should I check any resistors with you right now? Because I'm going to check every resistor in this transmitter. And like I said, list what I need. I'm going to pause you and check a few of these values up in here, and I'll bring you back and show you if any of them were out of tolerance. Hang on. Okay, guys, I checked 4 or 5 of them, and boy, more of them are at the very top of their tolerance range, or almost there, than I expected. You know, so I have a feeling that most of these are going to get replaced. On one hand, it's too bad because I hate replacing OEM parts, but it has to be done. You know, we want a nice working unit. This 33K measured 35K. This 47K right here measured 51K. This 10K here was spot on, 10.1K, and I'm connected to a 470K right now, and you'll see that it's 508K. And so I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but if you get a high reading, it's not caused by other components in the circuit. You can only make that resistance measurement go down by placing other items in parallel with it, right? You know, whether that item be a leaky capacitor or a switch contact closure or a transformer or coil winding, that type of thing, you know. If it reads high, you can believe it's high. It's at least as high as what your meter shows. And in vacuum tube equipment, guys, almost always the resistors, you can measure them in circuit because they're connected to exceedingly high impedance points or open switch contacts, again, that type of thing, you know. So I'm going to pause you, check a few more resistors. Hang on. I think baby boy has had enough of the old shop. Hang on. You want to go out? You want out, Blitzen? Bye. So anyway, guys, I'm running out of steam and this video's running long enough, and friend of mine wants to give you a message. This resistor here, it's an 18K, it measured 20K. This resistor here, this 33K, measured over 40K. So, hang on. Yeah, I'm going to call it quits here. My friend Molly would like to give you a message. She got excited by this video because the overriding theme of this video series for this year is a new beginning, or anything's possible. So, take it away, Molly. Escort these guys off of the old landfill with a little entertainment. 73, guys. Thanks for watching. And oh, the Heathkit HR-10b receiver will be tomorrow. 73 from me and Blitzy.